Channel 11 News starts with severe weather Team 11 coverage.
Hi everyone, Storm Tracker Doppler 11 tracking showers and storms that are set to push through later today. Thanks for joining us everyone. I'm Peggy Finnegan.
And I'm Gordon Lesh. Along with the rain, a big warm up. Meteorologist Scott Harbaugh is tracking it all. Scott?
A couple of showers right now across the area on live Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. Notice most of these fairly light, although a little heavier up in Mercer County as you head up towards Sharon. In Pittsburgh area right now, just a couple sprinkles, some light showers, enough to dampen the pavement in a couple areas, but that cloud cover has been pretty persistent today. Notice more showers back to the west. So off and on showers today, 58 now in Pittsburgh, 56 in Butler, Morgantown to 61 degrees. Once this warm front comes through, temperatures are going to start to bounce quickly this afternoon, up near 70 degrees by late this afternoon. Now, there is the chance of a thunderstorm in a couple of spots later today into tonight that could bring some gusty winds and some heavy rain. So I'm updating Storm Tracker right now to pinpoint where the best chances of that stronger storm is tonight. That's coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, thanks, Scott. Breaking now, the Allegheny County Health Department just updated us on new coronavirus cases.
And there is some encouraging news here. Just 6 new cases reported since yesterday at noon, and there are no additional deaths to report. The health department is urging everyone to continue practicing social distancing when we transition to the yellow phase tomorrow. They are worried cases might start to spike again.
And more breaking news, Pittsburgh Public Schools is buying another 7,000 Chromebooks to help its students with remote learning. The board of directors voted to approve the purchase yesterday. The laptops will go to students in grades 2 through 5. The superintendent says the goal is to give every student a district-issued laptop.
Our youngest students will have the technology they need to not only participate in remote learning, but also gain the life skills necessary to thrive in our global economy.
The Heinz Endowment, Remote Learning Fund, and other donors provide funding for those laptops. Most of our region is just one day away from entering the state's yellow phase of reopening.
But there's still a lot of confusion over what this means. Tomorrow, these 13 southwestern Pennsylvania counties will transition into the next phase. Stay-at-home orders will be lifted and groups of 25 people will be allowed. But you're still encouraged to wear a mask, practice social distancing, and work from home if possible. In-person retail will be allowed at places like appliance, clothing, and sporting goods stores, but they must continue to follow CDC guidelines. Curbside and delivery are still preferred. Restaurants and bars are still limited to carry-out and delivery only. According to the order, gyms, spas, hair salons, casinos, and movie theaters are all being told to stay closed. All this information is up right now on WPXI.com and the WPXI News app.
And mixed in with all the changes that go into effect tomorrow are state wine and liquor stores. More than 100 of those stores across Allegheny, Westmoreland, and the surrounding counties will open for in-person sales. But shopping at those stores is going to be much different than it used to be. Channel 11's Mike Holden takes us through the changes.
This has been a gradual reopening process, from online orders to curbside pickup to now a full-scale reopening happening at more than 150 state-run fine wine and good spirit stores starting Friday morning. These select stores are only in counties that are shifting to the yellow phase. They must now follow strict protocols as the coronavirus pandemic plays out. That means a major focus on social distancing and sanitizing. No more than 25 customers are allowed inside the store at one time. The first hour of the day will be designated to the at-risk and customers who are 65 years and older. Customers and employees must, of course, wear masks. Signage will be in place to make sure people social distance and do not run into one another, and cleaning will happen around the clock. Folks we spoke with say they have mixed reaction and admitted concerns over the reopening process and are left wondering, is there a full benefit?
I mean, if they think it's going to make them survive, as long as they do it safe, I think it's a good thing.
I don't think it's essential to open really much of anything at this point. I think they should keep everything as closed I think Governor Wolf is very foolish for doing it.
And for a full list of liquor stores reopening on Friday, just head over to WPXI.com as well as the WPXI News app. And starting at 5 o'clock tonight on Channel 11 News at 5, we're diving deeper into this story, plus the proposed legislation that would allow small business owners and restaurants to sell to-go cups of mixed drinks and the concerns over that. That's all starting at 5. Reporting in Westwood, Mike Holder.
New at noon, a lot of us have come to depend on Zoom to stay connected, and now it's coming to Pittsburgh, opening up a research and development office. The company is looking for space near CMU and has already started to recruit software engineering talent. Employees will work from home until that office is up and running. The company is working with the Pittsburgh Regional Alliance.
Families who have loved ones at Brighton Rehab in Beaver County say they are getting a sense of relief after the National Guard sent dozens of members to the struggling nursing home. More than 70 patients at the home have died from coronavirus. The National Guard has sent at least 40 members to the home to help. They are cleaning the buildings, changing bed linens, and helping patients change clothes.
It makes me happy and hopeful that, someone's up there that knows how to handle situations like this.
She said, there are men here wearing all white suits, and she said they're cleaning, and she said the floors never looked better.
Good to hear some encouraging news there. A special hazmat team is also training staff in sanitizing to make it safe to move patients. Our 11 Investigates team will continue to track the concerns and changes happening at Brighton Rehab while the National Guard is there and after they leave.
A Westmoreland County man who was in the hospital for 7 weeks is finally home, and he got a hero's send-off. This was the scene yesterday when Mark Nicholas was released from Excella Health Latrobe Hospital. Nurses and staff members gave him a standing ovation. According to our partners at the Trib, the 62-year-old had been there since March after he tested positive for the coronavirus. And his family said thank you in the biggest way possible. Over the last 7 weeks, his wife has raised more than $11,000 for the hospital's pandemic response fund. A special salute is planned for Pittsburgh and Pennsylvania's frontline workers. The Air National Guard wants to honor our healthcare professionals with a special flyover tomorrow. This is the planned route. 2 aircraft belonging to the Air National Guard would fly from Forbes Hospital to UPMC Presby, Mercy, then to UPMC Greentree. The pilots would then fly to St. Clair Hospital, Heritage Valley Hospital, and then to Allegheny General. Once downtown, the aircraft would fly by UPMC Children's and Shadyside Hospitals. This is a tentative plan, and it really does depend on the weather.
Nearly 3 million more Americans applied for unemployment benefits last week. Now, roughly 36 million people have filed for benefits in the 2 months since coronavirus first forced businesses to shut down. Even as the unemployment numbers keep growing, some states may extend stay-at-home orders into June. This means non-essential businesses will likely remain closed and losing money for more weeks to come. The head of the Federal Reserve says this coronavirus economy is worse than any recession since World War II. NBC's Tom Costello has more from Washington.
The record number of Americans out of a job remains on the rise this morning. The Labor Department reporting nearly 3 million people filed for unemployment just last week. That brings the total over the past couple of months to 36 million. Even as states begin phased-in returns to work, the Fed chief says more action from Congress to stimulate the economy may be necessary to avoid long-term damage. Powell's blunt assessment sending stocks tumbling on Wednesday. House Democrats are hoping to vote on a new $3 trillion package. That includes money for state and local governments, extends unemployment benefits beyond July, along with new direct payments for American families. President Trump saying that's not going to happen.
DOA, right? Okay. DOA, dead on arrival.
Mr. President.
Of course, Nancy Pelosi knows that.
But in a bipartisan push, Maryland Governor Larry Hogan and New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo say the need is real, writing in a statement, each day that Congress fails to act, states are being forced to make cuts that will devastate the essential services the American people rely on and destroy the economic recovery before it even gets off the ground. New Jersey's governor says his state, which has been hit hard by the pandemic, lost more than $3 billion in revenue last month.
We cannot sustain a collapse of revenues without turning to unprecedented layoffs. Layoffs, by the way, of the very people we're relying upon the most.
All this as our grocery habits are now starting to reflect the current economic situation. New market research shows cheaper store brands are now outpacing popular brands. And Americans are cutting back on splurges like snacks and even sodas. As some states now slowly start to reopen, we're starting to see a trickle of improvement in business and employment in those states. In Georgia, for example, South Carolina and Texas. However, a group of economists from Harvard, University of Illinois, and Chicago just announced new findings that as many as 100,000 small businesses may have already closed their doors permanently. I'm Tom Costello in Washington. Back to you.
And a new warning from the FBI. Hackers from China are trying to steal medical research on treatments and vaccines. Both U.S. and British cybersecurity experts say those countries have been threatened. They say that they're targeting American universities and pharmaceutical companies, which could put the research in jeopardy.
I think it is more the risk around how our response to COVID is working. The race is on to get vaccines. The race is on to get better data.
China denies these accusations. Hackers from Iran also reportedly tried to hack into the company that makes the drug remdesivir.
Homicide detectives are investigating a shooting in Wilkinsburg that killed a 16-year-old. First responders found the teenager in front of Cousins Market on Laketon Road just after 9 last night. Medics trying to save him, but were unable to. At last check, no one is in custody.
I worry. Does he just think I don't want to come see him?
Her son lives in a group home, and coronavirus has kept her from seeing him for 2 months. The sacrifices his caretakers are making to keep him safe.
Caution and confusion as portions of southwestern Pennsylvania prepare to get back to business. What to expect when the malls reopen.
Plus, what salon and barber shop owners say they need from the governor, even if they can't reopen tomorrow.
Areas of rain, the potential for strong thunderstorms and when they could force you inside.
WPXI Now. When a major story breaks, this is where you'll find 24-hour coverage. From the Channel 11 newsroom to our crews live in the field, we'll bring you the information you need right now. WPXI Now. Always on when you want the latest on
Scott and Tricia are going to tell you how to start your day.
Every single time we go to Scott, he's bringing new information. He wants to make sure you're prepared for your day.
You ask Tricia where is the closure, she knows it, and 3 ways around it. They're the best in the city.
Severe weather coverage where you live.
On Channel 11 News.
When some local businesses start reopening tomorrow, barbershops and hair salons will not be among them. There's a bill with 39 co-sponsors on it, and it's being looked at by the State House. It would greenlight salons and barbershops. Channel 11's Kara Sapida spoke with owners who say they just want a roadmap.
I get texts every day, can you come cut my hair at home? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I say no because I'm doing the right thing.
Michelle Coleman's McMurray Hair Salon sits empty like salons across the state with no guidance from the state on when they can reopen or what new measures they will have to put in place. They only know it will happen when the county moves to the green phase.
Green is kind of an unknown destination at this time where we really have no idea if it's going to be June, July, August, December.
There's actually only 2 barbers on staff at all times currently, myself and the gentleman who sits there. And we are, if you could see the shop, we're 12 feet apart. So we're already double the social distancing.
Adam Stafella owns Fella's Barbershop with 2 locations in McDonald and McMurray. He showed us the check-in system they've already installed, which allows clients to wait in their car until their barber is ready, while barbers follow stringent sanitizing procedures.
Wipe down your stations in between clients. You clean your clippers. You make sure all the hair's off them first before you spray any chemicals, which sanitizes those. You brush off the loose hair off of your combs before you put them in our barbicide jar, which is a chemical to clean the bacteria off of those.
But at a recent press briefing, state health officials said it's impossible to practice social distancing when you have hands-on treatment, and someone asymptomatic could pass COVID-19 to multiple clients in a day.
They could expose a whole bunch of patients.
Meantime, State Rep Lori Mizgorski has proposed a bill that would give waivers to hair salons and barbershops, and the House moved that bill to 3rd consideration.
Barbers and hairstylists are already trained in preventing the spread of infectious disease, so they already have protocols in place that they can adapt to meet the needs.
This as Pennsylvanians are crossing state lines to get their hair done.
I saw posts all over Facebook this week of where can I go in West Virginia to get my hair cut? Does anyone know? Does anyone know where I can go in Ohio to get my hair cut? And that's not fair because we're doing the right thing and we're still not allowed to open and we're losing business because of it.
In Washington County, Kara Sapida, Channel 11 News.
Governor Wolf says casinos will not open until their counties enter the green phase. When they do finally reopen, they could have a very different look. This comes after MGM released its new plan to reopen its Las Vegas casinos. It includes rigorous cleaning standards and reconfigured spaces to allow for social distancing. Guests will also be encouraged to wear masks in public areas.
We are less than 2 weeks away from the scheduled Kenny Chesney concert in Pittsburgh, and fans still don't have a clear answer about their tickets. The concert is scheduled for May 30th at Heinz Field. County officials have said it will be impossible to hold the concert because gatherings of more than 25 people aren't allowed. But tour organizers haven't said anything about it. An update is expected, though, by the end of the week. The Rolling Stones concert that was scheduled for June 23rd has been postponed. Organizers say anyone who has a ticket should keep it and wait for more information.
Restaurant owners are looking for ways to give people more options for outdoor seating. At the Linden Grove in Castle Shannon, you can reserve a party pod. The boxes will have a trial run this weekend with hopes to open it to the public next week.
They actually order their food, okay? We bring it out to them. They all bring their own lawn chair, and they sit on the corners.
And at Al's Cafe in Bethel Park, construction is underway to expand outdoor seating to keep customers safe.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
A lot of clouds around the area today. Not much in the way of rain so far. That's been a little more spotty, but the cloud cover has been abundant. Live look right now at our PennDOT cameras. This is I-79 Carnegie. I want to give you this view because you can see the sky, and there's just a lot of gray out there. I have seen a little sun come through. Notice the rainfall just back to the west in eastern Ohio. So we're going to start to increase the chances of showers as we go through the next couple hours, and occasionally we'll get some pockets of some moderate rain. Right now, some rain entering the picture for Beaver County, Butler County near the Cranberry area. Most of Allegheny County currently dry, but you can see this wave of rain pushing in from the west. Now, back behind this wave, it does dry out and the sun pops out. That's going to do a couple things. One, it's going to increase the temperature quickly late this afternoon. Two, it's also going to increase the instability in the atmosphere, giving us a chance of a few thunderstorms later today. I want to show you that break. Notice back into central Ohio, you get the break in the overcast, so the sun will pop out. 56 in Butler right now, 57 in Kittanning. Pittsburgh's at 59 in Waynesburg right now at 61 degrees. We want to get the dogs outside this afternoon. There will be some pockets of showers from time to time, especially early to mid-afternoon, but then a break before a thunderstorm or two could roll in later today. One or two of these storms today could be strong. Here's Storm Tracker. Notice just about 5 o'clock, a couple clusters of orange and red starting to show up. So a few thunderstorms, Allegheny, Washington, down into Greene County. By 7 o'clock, that's well off to the east, and by 8 o'clock this evening, much of the area fairly quiet for sunset. Pretty strong wave coming through northeast Ohio. That will dive into our area. Could give us some lightning, some thunder, some gusty winds, especially from Pittsburgh north, about 10, 11 o'clock tonight. And that's where the Storm Prediction Center has put in the best chance for isolated severe thunderstorms. Washington, Waynesburg up to Indiana and points west. Notice in northeast Ohio that yellow shading, that means scattered severe storms, so better chance of severe weather farther west you go. My main concern from any storm that comes through, wind gusts in excess of 50 miles per hour. And again, those would be isolated, but it's still a possibility as temperatures tonight stay very warm and the air stays kind of muggy. Going to drop to 60 overnight tonight, 75 tomorrow, partly sunny, mainly afternoon thunderstorms tomorrow. A couple clusters coming through about 3 o'clock, but then the main line comes in tomorrow evening. And as Chief Meteorologist Stephen Cropper mentioned last night on Channel 11 News at 11, the biggest concern from these storms Friday night, repeated rounds of heavy rain over the same area, potentially leading to some localized flooding before they head out early Saturday morning. Not expecting severe thunderstorms tomorrow, but heavy rain a possibility. And then most of the weekend will be dry on the front half. 77 Saturday, 81 Sunday, with showers and storms and turning much cooler on Monday. I am expecting an update from the Storm Prediction Center in a couple minutes as to the risk of severe weather later today. I'll have a new look at that coming up next half hour.
Very sad for me. I miss him terribly.
Mother and son separated for 2 months because of coronavirus. Why she can't even communicate with him virtually.
Feeling kind of like we were helpless.
And this local family turned that feeling around. How their creative giveaway has really caught on. Breaking News Desk is really an invaluable tool.
You're going to get breaking news as it's happening. You can be assured that everything I tell you is something that's important that's going to impact your day.
We have an anchor now dedicated to following the latest information as it comes in.
I know the neighborhoods, I know the school districts, and that really helps to inform you so that you know if something is going to impact your family.
As soon as she gets that information, the Breaking News Desk is able to go on air, bring that information to you and share it.
That is a resource no one else has. If you see me on the Breaking News Desk,
and Gordon Lesh on Channel 11 Morning News.
Need a mask? Take a mask. That's the idea behind this initiative you see here. A family that lives on the south side says they saw a need, so they acted on it. It started as learning how to make masks just for themselves and then turned into a massive operation. The Culbertson family has handed out over 250 masks now.
I feel like this is a good way to, one, give back to the community and also keep everyone safer.
The family expects more people to come and get masks as the weather gets nicer. If you need one, you can grab one outside their house on Sydney Street.
There are days where I do cry, yeah, definitely. It's really emotional.
Diana Knoll has not seen her son in 2 months. He has an intellectual disability and lives in a group home. And just like at nursing homes, visitors at group homes are not allowed right now. Most families have moved to interacting virtually during this time, but Knoll says that's not possible for people like her son, JJ. He's cared for by direct support professionals. But recently, when there was a possible COVID exposure, 2 of his caretakers left their own children to stay with him.
Without them, I mean, I can't even imagine what would happen.
We show up for work every day, COVID-19 or not, to make sure that their needs are met and that their health and safety comes first.
At Valley Advantages, at least 30 staff members have stepped up to stay in their 12 group homes if needed.
Caution and confusion as portions of southwestern Pennsylvania prepare to get back to business. What to expect when the malls reopen.
Showers rolling into the area right now. I'm tracking where stronger thunderstorms are possible later today.
You're streaming WPXI Now, your source for original local shows. Steelers, Penguins, Pirates, and more. The hottest Pittsburgh sports topics with even hotter opinions. Halftime adjustments. Wednesday nights at 7:30 on WPXI. best. Every voice, every vote matters. From the campaign trail to your backyard, we're talking to the candidates about the big issues and to the voters who will decide the election. Channel 11 News, Decision 2020 coverage you can count on. Watch David Johnson and Peggy Finnegan on Channel 11 News at 5.
Storm tracker Doppler 11 tracking showers and storms that are set to push through later today. Along with the rain, though, a big warm-up.
Meteorologist Scott Harbaugh is tracking it all. Scott?
Yeah, we do have quite a bit of shower activity starting to enter the picture now. Most of it's light, but occasionally you get a little yellow, a little moderate rain on live. Storm tracker Doppler 11 radar. Pockets of some moderate rain into southern Butler County, also back through the Newcastle area right now. And then notice we have more clusters back to the west. So we'll keep this rain shower activity in the next couple hours. We're now up to 59 degrees in Pittsburgh with that cloud cover and a south-southwest wind at 7 miles per hour. 70 this afternoon. Is going to be a late arrival time on the warm temperatures because of this front coming through right now. I'm updating the risk for severe weather later today. I have a fresh look at where the best chance of strong storms is coming up in just about 15 minutes.
The State Health Department just released an update on the coronavirus cases.
And statewide, we are still seeing a lot of new cases, 938 cases since yesterday. The health department is also reporting 275 more deaths. 44 of those were reported overnight, and the remaining 231 are the result of a reconciliation of data. In our area, there are 4 new deaths reported in Beaver County and 6 new cases of coronavirus. Earlier, we mentioned the 6 new cases in Allegheny County, and there are 3 new cases in Westmoreland County, and we do have all the local county cases scrolling at the bottom of your screen.
As portions of southwestern Pennsylvania prepare to get back to business, there are questions about what to expect, specifically which stores plan to reopen and what will it be like to shop inside them. The outlets in Grove City opened last week with strict reminders for shoppers to practice social distancing. Tanger Outlets in Washington County says they're going to reopen on Friday with strict safety measures in place. Freestanding retail shops and stores in plazas can also get back to business.
One customer in the store at a time, and masks and, hand sanitizing stations. We're not allowing our customers to touch anything.
The rules are a bit different, though, for traditional malls. Under the governor's reopening plan, only stores with their own entrances can reopen, and that's mainly big box stores. The mall at Robinson and the South Hills Village Mall say only Dick's Sporting Goods will open at 9 a.m. on Friday. And Ross Park Mall showed no sign of a Friday reopening, either in person or online.
The country's top vaccine scientist says he was ignored by the Trump administration and then demoted. Our Jacqueline Fell has more on the dire warning the scientist delivered to House lawmakers today.
The vaccine expert warns of, quote, the darkest winter in modern history without a coordinated U.S. response before an expected second wave of coronavirus. Dr. Rick Bright was ousted as the lead official at the federal agency involved in developing a virus vaccine. He says it was because he disagreed with the president about an anti-malaria drug being pushed as a potential coronavirus treatment. He's not holding back on what he says will be unprecedented illness and deaths in the U.S. due to this pandemic, unless the federal government steps up and comes up with a national strategy for testing.
Our window of opportunity is closing. If we fail to improve our response now, based on science, I fear the pandemic will get worse and be prolonged.
Republicans on the House committee say they weren't given adequate time to prepare or even to call their own witness to counter Bright's testimony. The president tweeting this morning calling Bright disgruntled and not liked or respected. He added that he's never heard of him or even met him. Reporting outside Washington, Jacqueline Fell, Channel 11 News.
And Bright has filed a whistleblower complaint saying he was ignored and then demoted for raising red flags during the pandemic. His complaint is being investigated.
Breaking now, Senator Richard Burr is temporarily stepping aside as chairman of the Senate Intelligence Committee. He made the move after the FBI served a search warrant for his phone. It's part of an ongoing insider trading investigation. Tied to the coronavirus pandemic, the FBI is looking into whether Burr broke the law with a well-timed sale of stocks right before the virus caused markets to plummet.
The decision for colleges to reopen next semester is up in the air for many schools, and some have already decided to stay online in the fall. NBC's Gabe Gutierrez has the latest.
Harvard University is telling its new medical, dental, and graduate students that classes will be online this fall after the nation's largest public university system, Cal State, called off in-person classes at its 23 campuses. Across the country, higher education is now facing a reckoning.
It's confronting not only the challenges that the virus presents, but broader issues about things like affordability.
Still, a new poll shows 65% of college students say they would attend in-person classes this fall if given the option. 31% say they would only attend virtually. That means despite the risks, even with potentially packed lecture halls, students clearly prefer a more traditional in-person college experience, not a virtual one. Annie Colson is a theater student at NYU.
It is so important for me to be face-to-face with all my teachers and my peers because we're all learning off of each other and we learn so much more in person.
As of now, the vast majority of colleges, 70%, are planning to resume in-person classes this fall, though life on campus will likely look very different. Pace University in New York is still grappling with the decision.
What we're looking at is changing the way we live, we work, and we play and study.
Also at stake, money. Nationwide, 345 private colleges and universities are at risk of closing or merging over the next several years. And this year, fewer high school seniors have applied for college financial aid. A sign coronavirus may disrupt enrollment. Lila Robinson from Ohio is a psychology major at McGill University, which will only hold online classes this fall. She's devastated.
Just anxious because you don't know how long this is going to last and what's going to happen.
A senior year unlike anything she ever expected. Gabe Gutierrez, NBC News, New York.
Is there a difference between a gym and an exercise studio? The argument one local owner is making.
Every 10 minutes, Scott and Tricia are going to tell you how to start your day.
You can get a lot of things on your phone when it comes to the weather, but you can't get Scott's expertise. He's trying to narrow in on your neighborhood to let you know what you could expect.
You're going to know what to wear. You're going to know what the kids need to wear.
We call Tricia Pittman our expert for good reason.
You ask Tricia where is the closure, she knows it, and 3 ways around it.
She's been doing this longer than anybody else. She has a direct pipeline to PennDOT.
They're the best in the city. You're prepared every 10 minutes.
from where you live.
Watch Channel 11 News at 5.
Is there a difference between a gym and an exercise boutique? A business owner in the North Hills thinks so. The owner of Pure Barre started an online petition to allow her to reopen before big gyms, which are supposed to be reopening in the green phase. She says by holding smaller classes and not sharing equipment, they can easily follow social distancing guidelines.
Fitness boutiques have a little more flexibility to provide a safe, effective workout during COVID with social distancing in effect, where big box gyms, it's going to be way more challenging for them.
The fitness boutique The Daily Method just got permission to hold small outdoor classes starting on Friday, and Pure Barre is now working to get that same permission.
Neighbors in the North Hills have another option to shop. The Ross Township Farmers Market is now open. Some fresh produce might not be available yet because it's been colder, but there are other items like pasta, baked goods, and flowers. And of course, things will look different because of social distancing.
We usually encourage everyone to bring friends and family and stay and gab and everything, but we can't really do that now. We try to have a flow.
And everyone is encouraged to wear a mask. The farmers market is open every Wednesday from 3 to 7 p.m. until October.
More people could stay working from home even when we finally get back to normal. Next, the new level of stress people who are going back to work are dealing with.
Well, temperatures finally getting back to normal for this time of the year, but that doesn't mean dry. I'm tracking when rain will keep you inside.
Channel 11 covers weather everywhere you live.
And we have the experience to get it right. We know the unique weather patterns across our neighborhoods.
That's why it can be raining in Beaver County,
while it's dry in Westmoreland County.
Weather coverage. Of questions.
I talked to PNC's chief economist about what to expect.
Significant downturn in the Pittsburgh area. It's likely to be not quite as bad as what we see in the rest of the country.
Stay with Channel 11 for answers about coronavirus.
Pittsburgh's chief meteorologist Stephen Cropper tracking the weather in your neighborhood.
With offices mostly empty and more than half of employed Americans having the opportunity to work from home, a vast majority want to continue to do so at least some of the time. A new survey from Zillow finds 75% of people working from home would prefer to continue at least half of the time. With most of our area moving into the yellow phase tomorrow, the governor still wants people who can work from home to continue to do so. And some workers may be surprised at the anxiety they feel returning to work. Sarah Dalloff has the story.
With new sanitizing measures in place, Salon 3C's in West Virginia is reopening.
We're all very ecstatic to be back here at work today.
But not all Americans returning to work are so certain.
It's fearful, but being between a rock and a hard place is that if I don't open now and someone else is going to take that business, maybe I'm not going to have a business to come back to.
According to a recent survey from software company Qualtrics, 2 out of 3 people are uncomfortable returning to work right now. Health experts say that's understandable.
This is a time to be anxious. This is a time to be worried. So it's absolutely normal, absolutely anticipated and expected. But the thing is that everybody's tolerance of handling anxiety is different.
Baylor College of Medicine Dr. Asam Shah suggests workers focus on taking precautions like wearing masks and hand hygiene. Employers can take gradual steps to ease workers back into routines, especially those scrambling to find childcare.
You schedule few of your employees and then or maybe stagger their time. Somebody comes Monday, somebody comes Wednesday, things like that.
Employers can also adapt new policies. That recent Qualtrics survey also revealed the majority of workers want to be able to wear masks and socially distance themselves. Almost half would like to see handshakes and hugs banned for now. A new normal for the workplace as more regions get back to business. Sarah Dalloff, NBC News.
There's a push to get airlines to give full refunds to anyone who canceled a flight because of COVID-19. Airlines are not required to give refunds in those cases, only if the airlines themselves are the ones to cancel the flights. Several lawmakers sent letters to the airlines. Spirit and Allegiant have agreed to make the change. Members of Congress are pushing for others to do the same.
If they are not willing to do so, then I am going to move forward with legislation that mandates that they have to give that money back.
The Department of Transportation typically sees about 1,500 complaints a month. It received 25,000 in just March and April.
Your severe weather Team 11 forecast.
Pretty overcast with showers moving into the area right now. They're spotty, so it's not going to be a constant wall of water, but the next couple of hours will be a little bit wet. Live look at our PennDOT cameras right now. This is the Crosstown Boulevard. You can see dry road conditions, but definitely cloudy skies across the area. Same deal for I-79 in Kerwin Heights right now. Let me give you a live look at Storm Tracker Doppler 11 radar. Notice most of the rain is north and west of Allegheny County, but it is slowly starting to move in, and there are some pockets of yellow. Now, there have been no thunder or lightning strikes in the last hour and a half, 2 hours. The nearest one we had was back near Cambridge, Ohio, but this afternoon, as the atmosphere starts to destabilize a little bit, I do expect there to be a couple pops of thunder later this afternoon into first thing this evening. 59 right now in Pittsburgh and in Greensburg, 55 in Butler, and 61 in Morgantown. You will be able to get the kids outside. There'll be some showers at 2, then a break for a bit, then could be some thunderstorms around 5, 6 o'clock this evening. Here's Storm Tracker, and again, 2 o'clock, a couple showers out there, especially north of Pittsburgh. Then by 5 p.m., starting to pick up some clusters of some thunderstorms. Those areas of orange, yellow. Chief Meteorologist Stephen Cropper will be tracking these throughout the afternoon and into the evening, and then late tonight, or I should say late this evening, another wave of some pretty heavy rain moves into the area north of Pittsburgh. Now, I just updated the map from the Storm Prediction Center in Norman, Oklahoma, and they've made no change to their earlier forecast. So basically from, let's say, Lone Pine to Greensburg to Indiana to Du Bois and west, that's the best chance of any severe weather tonight. By definition, severe weather would either be wind gusts in excess of 58 miles per hour or large hail. Now, the risk is low as we go into the evening hours tonight, and I think the biggest concern of all the potential risks would be that potential for some high wind gusts. So I put that into the moderate category for this evening. There's no risk of tornadoes, and the risk of flooding this evening will be very low because these will be fast-moving cells that come through. 60 overnight tonight with showers and thunderstorms in a couple of spots. Then tomorrow afternoon thunderstorms will start to get cranky. And notice by 3 o'clock could be a couple cells into Butler County, but the main line once again 6, 7, 8 o'clock tomorrow night. And tomorrow night we do have to worry about the potential for some training. That's repeated rounds of heavy rain over the same area that could lead to some localized flooding. Now, Saturday's my pick day of the weekend. I think the bulk of Saturday is going to be dry. 77 for the high temperature. Some areas will be dry all day Saturday. Sunday, though, showers and thunderstorms, especially during the afternoon. That's our cold front coming through, and then off and on rain through the day on Monday. Noticeably cooler, too. Monday's high temperature only 68 degrees.
A lot of families are spending time apart so that they don't spread COVID-19. One family's unique way to make sure great-grandma gets all the hugs she needs. Next.
First, today's local steals and deals.
Hey guys. Brace yourself, because here's 3 amazing ideas. Want to remind you that these are all on localsteals.com. And again, I say that because I talk fast, so you might miss something. We're going to start out with socks. This is a company called Sock Art, and they make great socks. Socks are so much fun. They're a great way of expressing yourself. They're a great part of fashion. Obviously, they're very functional. One of the biggest things right now is socks. I'm sure if you have kids, they have drawers full of them, but we can do even better. We have regular crew socks. We have low-cut socks. The regular crews are going to be 2 for the price of 1, and so many great designs. They have these the words that are on the bottom of the foot and all other kinds of great ideas. You're going to love those. 2 pairs for the price of 1. Low cut, 2 4-packs for the price of 1 with lots of great art. They fit sizes 5 through 11. They have a cushioned sole, and originally $30 to $32, but for us, only $15 to $16, so we're saving 50%. Love that. Now, if you're on the go, if you're working out, if you're walking the dog, if you're on a bike, if you just need a hands-free, you probably noticed that there are a lot of great ideas when it comes to other ways to carry your phone. This is an arm pocket. This will fit on your bicep, your forearm. It'll fit on your hand, because it even has, by the way, a thumb hole. You can put it on your bike. These are sweat-proof. These are drop-proof. They have memory foam, so they're going to be a no-slip fit, machine washable, storage pockets behind the phone. Even put your passport in there, whatever you want. Recycled plastic bottles is what they're made out of, but super functional is what they become. We have a couple different models for you. They're $39.95 to $44.95 for everyone else, but for us, they're $19.99 to $22.50. We're saving 50%, and our phone and ID is going with us anywhere we want to go. Now, this is a great umbrella by Misty Harbor, but this one even has a better idea because, wait for it, there's a flashlight in the handle. How many times do I forget to turn the outside lights on, then I get home and it's dark and I can't find, like, where the keys, right? And then you're trying to go, wait, where's the flashlight on my... Okay, so now you have a flashlight in the handle, a really great umbrella, 45 inches of coverage, fiberglass ribs, auto open, auto close, great quality, and that is going to be a lifesaver. Originally, these are $28. You and I only paying $14, saving 50%. All these are on localsteals.com. We find these just for you, so you can't see them anywhere else. Check them out, and we'll see you next time.
You put on Channel 11 Morning News. There is a team that has been working all night to get you the news you need.
The news doesn't stop. We don't stop.
I know you have a busy morning. I'm a mom, too, and you're doing 1,000 different things.
We want to make sure you know everything you need to know to get prepared for your day as you head out the door.
You're going to get weather and traffic every 10 minutes. Jennifer is going to tell you the breaking news as it's happening.
We're not repeating the same stories over and over. We're digging for those new details.
You can be assured that you're going to get all the information you need before.
Allegheny County.
Amusement parks are ready to get back to business. Six Flags America, just outside of Chicago, says they will reopen. Visitors will have to make online reservations for the day and time that they arrive at the park. And just down the road, down I-80, Cedar Point in Sandusky, Ohio, says they'll reopen as soon as it's safe again and are hoping to do so later this year. This would be the park's 150th anniversary.
Here's a great story. Love knows no bounds, and this next video shows how true that is for an Illinois grandmother and her great-grandchildren.
Put your arms through the slots.
All right. Oh, my goodness. Oh, I love you. I love you. Oh, this is so good. My goodness.
Well, with a little bit of ingenuity and some PVC pipe and plastic, she can now hug her great-grandchildren for the first time since the start of the outbreak. The plastic hug guard was built by her granddaughter, who wanted her kids to be able to wrap their arms around their great-grandma. And the kids say they want Grandma to come over daily for hugs. Very sweet.
Very sweet.
That's all for Channel 11 News at noon. Our next newscast is tonight at 5.
Thanks for watching. Stay safe and have a great day.
In Severe Weather Center 11, we cover weather everywhere you live.
And we have the experience to get